Hey, beautiful people. I'm Mila.
Hey y'all, I'm Monica.
And thanks for joining us.
How are you doing today, sis?
I am aligned and balanced.
Okay, well then it means it's time to welcome the family in, our girlfriends, our people who are joining us. If it's the first time that you joined us, thank you and stay. It's going to be another interestingly fun episode. So I'm always excited to get us started. How was your week, Monica?
The week has been, I know I probably always say the same thing. The week has been moving. The week has been good. The weather is fabulous. It's starting to
Hmm.
get warm. It's going to get hot. People won't complain, but it is what it is.
Okay, those southern roots of yours, you get really excited about the heat. I am I'm a true Northwestern Pacific Northwest Gym, and so with that in mind, I realized that 75 to 80 is heaven to me, honey. Anything above or below is just why. 75 to 85, that's a good time. That's the good time
hmm
pocket for me. So I am excited about the good weather. Of course, on this episode, we will be celebrating and shouting out Mother's Day because Mother's
I
Day is this
always love
Sunday.
my mama.
That's it. Hey, exactly. So it is on the 14th which is the Sunday that's coming up. So, if this is the first reminder, it almost slipped your mind. Do something nice for your mom. It's Mental Health Awareness Month. So we love a good a massage or something. Monica gives you guys hundreds of suggestions every week on things to do for self-care, from acupuncture to massage to walking to
Right.
whatever. So
I
there's
went
no
to the
excuse.
Chinese herbalist this week.
And I was excited for you to do that too. I think that was a much needed experience. And how did you like the herbalist?
I liked it. He was very thorough, explained it, and I mean, it's just kind of how you see in the movies when you go into the movies where they're have the shops
Hmm.
on the corners, or I
Hmm.
mean the shop with his office was in
Apothecary
a
shops.
plaza.
Yeah,
Yeah, but he has
apothecary. Hmm.
all the herbs there, and he took his time. You gotta fill out all your 5011 forms. Um, carefully asked 5011 questions, and I
Hmm.
also had acupuncture with that visit. So,
Mm. So I like that you left with some good herbs and feeling better from your acupuncture. So that is a win-win. That is something as well. Maybe you guys get your mother figure a trip to an herbalist, a naturalist, apothecary shops. Like if you were in New Orleans, they might call it medicine shops, root
hmm
shops, apothecary, but things that focus on. I like to say on God's medicine versus things that are genetically created in the lab, which of course leads me back to my week. My week has been it has been a celebration of my righteous mind, and it has been a celebration of Jehovah's peace on me. Insurmountable. You can't even describe what divine peace is. So it has obviously been a fantastic week for me. Uh, Even with all those things that have been trying to come against me, no weapon. So that's why I'm really excited to be here, though, celebrating moms and getting the party started. Now, the first thing I do want to say, Monica, is you got on me. And I want you to try to remember back on what you said, because I said I started this series, but I haven't finished it yet. And it's Dear Mama. So let the family know what you actually told me, because you be trying to roast me too from time to time, from time to time.
Oh, when I said you didn't watch Dear Mama, but you made me watch Swarm and what was that other ish?
Oh, you said seeking brother husbands, girl. That's what you
Oh
said.
gosh,
Okay,
yeah.
yeah. And I said, Monica, I started it. I said, girl, I think I technically started it before you did. I said, I just haven't got back to it with all that's going on. But you
hmm
said, well, get to it. And I'm very happy that I did. The series is on Hulu. It airs on Fridays, I believe. There's one more episode left, so you can binge watch it this weekend with your mama, maybe, or
Mother.
with your family.
hmm
Because actually, it was really good because it's on Tupac and Afeni Shakur, his mother,
Right,
or you say Afeni and Tupac Shakur.
right.
She was phenomenal. What were your thoughts on it? Why do you think people should see this?
Because it gives a more detailed, more introspective into how his mind worked, how he was raised, who raised them, where his mother, you know what I'm saying, their backgrounds. It just, it brings it all together. You know what I'm saying? People might just look at him as like, okay, he was just this rapper, but he wasn't. He was a lot more. And
Mm-hmm.
he was murdered at the age of 25. So he didn't even start yet,
Mm-hmm.
evolved further. But I'm not going to get into conspiracy theories, but
Oh, because that is a rabbit hole Monica will fall down and she will drag your butt down with her. Okay.
I'm just saying, yeah, everyone plays their part. He was a rapper. That was a character to him. That wasn't his real life.
Mm-mm, no, he was. Yes, to your point, that wasn't his real life at all. He was an actor. He went to like um, performing arts school.
Right.
Like he was made for it. But what he was truly a gifted poet, an artist. He was just a really total package. And like you mentioned, 25, you were just getting started at 25. I mean, you're still developing yourself. And this man put so much into his life. He lived it as if he knew prophetically that his time was special and short. I remember one part of the movie, Afeni's voice was saying that she had miscarried every other baby. She thought her womb could not carry children.
Mm-hmm.
And then when she decided to have Tupac and he didn't miscarry, she said, she had to legally fight in court to get eggs and milk so that he could have some nutrients while he was in her stomach. She lost weight,
Right.
but he gained weight. I just
Mm-hmm.
was like, girl, just go on. I mean, his mom bad. She's a bad mamma jamma. I was I was
Look.
blown away because I knew a little bit. I mean, I'm familiar with the Black Panther Party, so
Right.
I definitely it's not conspiracy theory. The party wasn't started as an extremist group. It was started to
Oh no,
help.
not that part conspiracy. I'm talking about, him, passing away, that part.
Right, but there's a lot of
Mhm.
conspiracies
Right.
surrounding the Black Panther Party as well. What it is,
Yeah.
what it's not. When you say Black Panther Party to people who don't know Black history or not interested in African American history in the United States, they may think that it's a party of violence, and they really
It's not.
started off giving out food, lunches, providing medical
Wait.
to poor and displaced communities. Right. Well, that's the social program that was born
Yep.
from the good idea, right?
Right.
But nonetheless, before there was these things out there, kids were having to go to school, and they say, kids don't behave, they don't perform well when they're hungry, they
Or
can't think
tired.
or
Right.
tired, or they need medicine, they need to be able to be checked at, looked at, examined. And so the Panther Party in these large urban cities provided that, and they provided it not just for blacks but also for poor, as you can look in
Right.
Chicago and look at how the Illinois Panther Party worked. So anyway, it was fascinating. But I mean, Tupac, what was your favorite moment? And then we'll of course we'll move on, but I'm just curious, like, what have you loved the most about the documentary?
I got one more episode, I believe.
Yes, well, because it hasn't come out yet, so it's not
Right.
out there,
Oh,
we're
okay. Hasn't
waiting.
come out yet.
Yeah, no.
The way it was directed and edited, like, I
Hmm.
don't know which one was my favorite part until I see the rest of it.
Okay.
Yeah, I'm
Oh.
I'm gonna give it that because it was eye opening. I was sitting here, um, I watched a couple episodes with my mother because
Hmm.
she didn't know. I mean, she's heard his music before because I used to
Hmm.
play it back in the day, but she didn't. She was just kind of like, and it was interesting to her because she loves history and Black history also, and so I think, like you said, it's something that probably the whole family should watch. It's
Yeah.
a Mothers and Miracles weekend.
Honey, and we are all about those mothers and miracles. I love that, Monica. For me, I will say it was so nostalgic, and I know there's still one more episode. I mean, and of course, like history, we know how the story ends, but I mean, it was so nostalgic. So watching his antics at different times, you kind of are like, "Ooh, what was I doing?" And I was like, "Oh, I was a senior in high school, I was in high school, or I was doing
Right.
this, or I thought, oh, I remember when this song came out." For me, I liked when he spoke on getting it, the Hughes brothers, that controversy, because they're some of the producers and directors behind the docu series. Hughes. And
Mm-hmm.
so to kind of hear the the Hughes brothers be full circle with it as well, because they were
Right.
young men as well, and they had been close to Tupac. They had had a falling out. And so I really appreciated that. I appreciated knowing how Tupac stood up for people truly, including when he shot the officer in the butt in Atlanta. I mean, I was like, that stuff
I
you
mean,
couldn't even
the
make up.
officer was off duty. I mean, how was he supposed to know?
Undercover. I mean, sorry, you're right, off duty, but
Yeah.
they had stolen weapons
Right.
from the department. Okay, I mean, obviously Tupac got off the case, but I'm
Right.
like, that could be a movie in itself, because the police weren't bothering him. They were beating up another black man on the corner, and
Right.
Tupac witnessed that. And the thing in him that didn't want to see injustice happen, he went over there and intervened. He
And
jumped in that, and he didn't
he
have
let them
to.
live. He shot him in the butt and the legs. And I don't understand why people, when they're shooting out here, they
Yeah.
just shoot to kill. I'm like, you could disarm someone, shoot him in the leg and shoot him in the butt. Like, what's the problem? Shoot them
Yes.
below the waist. But people out here just killing people like they're on a video game, like they're gonna come back alive. They don't.
Yes, I do agree with you about Monica, about how people are just out here shooting up randomly, and not having any just being a fool with the guns. There was a scene where Tupac was at the range and he's shooting the gun, and I could see the way he was shooting the gun that of course he was not holding it proper. He knew how to properly shoot, but I don't know if it was because the cameras were around, but he was shooting the gun at a side angle, and
Mm-hmm.
he wasn't hitting that target at all. And I was like, that's the problem when people are trying to do gun violence or doing drive-bys during that period of time in American history. They would hold the weapon in a way where you're not even aiming that at the target. You're aiming it over at the park. Like, come on, a gun needs focus and aim and respect. It is a weapon that could take
Right.
your life. You don't pop back up from a bullet. And we've learned that, of course, living in America, and of course, this last couple of weeks, there have been so many moments where people are using, guns incorrectly, violently, hostilely, and you just can't, with their mental health, a gun isn't something to bring out on a bad day. That's the day
Nope.
you need to
Not
lock
at
that
all.
thing away. Lock that thing away. When you're having a hard mental health day, put your gun away and chill out. Don't even go near it. Forget you have it.
Go for a run. Go for a swim. Go take some CBD. I don't know. Just go have sex. Go do something.
Monica, you said go do all the things, but don't do that thing. Okay,
Right.
I'm with you there. Okay, so since we are talking now about mental health, you brought to me a story this week, Monica, about a pilot having a whole meltdown. And will you just break down the scenario for us? Because we do need to talk about this a little bit, honey, because the community is talking about it, the family is talking about it, the nation is talking about it. So let's go.
I came across a video and this lady in plain clothes was on the intercom on the plane explaining to people that first she was like, if you guys want to give me an extra 10 minutes, then I can get into my pilot's uniform. I guess, I don't know, maybe she was running late, but then she started going into her personal life, that she was going through a divorce, and then on top of that she was offending like a interracial mixed couple on the plane.
Oh,
Then she told people on the plane, she told the people on the plane, they were like, if you don't feel comfortable with me flying, you can more than welcome to leave the plane now. And so like 20 people got up and left. And then
smart, smart.
and then eventually she left.
Was she escorted out, or did she just leave of her own free will?
She left of her own free will, but I think they were in the process of getting the proper people to come and haul her ass off.
Escort her off that plane. Okay.
Yeah.
Whew, girl, see, I told you everybody it was going to be a lot to unpack, because if you're a pilot, you're all, because you know how it is to board the plane. So you guys are already boarded, because typically they don't let you board the plane without the pilot being on there, being ready, doing the checks and all that. So
Right.
I want to know what kind of bootleg airline this was. I have a sneaking
I don't
suspicion.
know. I couldn't tell. I went through the thread, I went through the comments, and I couldn't figure out which airline it was. It wasn't, I could tell you by the looking at the seats,
Mhm.
it could have been like United, American,
Oh no,
Delta.
we're not naming. We're not naming. We're not naming. Because you saying those, and I thought it was.
Allegedly,
We don't know which airline. I don't think it was any of those because
It
those are
wasn't. It wasn't Spirit because them seats look different.
yeah, plenty. I from my one spirit trip where I said never, ever, 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 ever. I don't care how good the deal is. The shenanigans. I mean, if you ride Spirit, you're riding it because you want an adventure before your adventure. You know, you want to get there late. You don't want to be on time. You want to see if the
But
flight
you know
attendant's gonna
what?
cuss you out. Oh no, girl, no.
They actually were one of the top airlines.
For
I forgot which
entertainment. For
from no,
entertainment.
I can't remember which article. No, they were,
For entertainment
it
because that's
wasn't.
entertainment because you're not getting there on time. You're definitely operating on CP time. And if you don't know what that means, well, then you got to learn. But
Girl,
you're
they were
off.
on the list. They were on the list doing better than Southwest. And
Everybody
that's a
does better
fact.
than Southwest, though, girl. I mean, Southwest been having issues. Girl, we don't want to be talking. Allegedly, all these
Okay.
airlines have issues. But what I will say is, if you do ride Spirit, because there's no shade, if you ride Spirit, you know, one of my good girlfriends, honey, shout out to her. She told me straight up, you gonna fly Spirit, then you go ahead and you upgrade for that extra $5 or $10 first class, so you can sit in that bucket Cadillac seat or that bucket Buick seat versus that back seat back there with the general population. She said, because it's going to be some shenanigans you're going to witness. And she didn't lie. Like I said, if I wanted to fly Spirit, I'd be like, girl, we just want to go on a quick trip. We not, there's time isn't a factor. Stress isn't a factor. We don't care if we're late. We're not going to try to piss off the flight attendant. Because I've seen a Spirit flight attendant go
Straight
off on
soul plane.
somebody.
Straight
Oh,
soul plane.
exactly. That to me, I feel like Soul Plane came out, and then an airline company said, "Well, you know what? We could do that." Like,
That's hilarious.
yeah, we could do that. Oh, girl, I mean, I told you when the snack options are Cheez-Its and cup of noodles, you already know that you're on a special kind of plane.
Oh no. I mean, by the time you upgrade everything, you might as well just got a regular economy seat on one of the other airlines.
Oh no, still Spirit is still much better price.
Really? Oh.
Yeah. No, Spirit is amazing. Like as far as the pricing, that's what lures you in the first time. You know, and some people are susceptible things because you know they say out there, I don't watch Snowfall, but you know I listened to enough rap back in the day. I know they say the first
You
one is
get what
free.
you pay for.
No, they say the first one is free, and then after you get the first one, then you're hooked. The Spirit prices be so low, and they you be going everywhere you want to go. I mean, I went to 2 or 3 cities on my Spirit trip,
Look, I
and it
guess
was
that's how
under
all
three
these
fifty.
influencers are getting around then.
If they're a real influencer, they better not be getting. Anyway, okay, so if you're a pilot, okay, so the whole point though is if the pilot came on with all that energy and not her real clothes and was talking all that. I want to know what she said to the interracial couple. You know me, I'm like, well, what did she say to the people?
Oh, I didn't even get into all that. They just,
Okay, I mean,
yeah.
because I'm like, if you just, I mean, were they the only interracial couple? Were they the interracial couple in first class? Like, there's so much to that. I'm like, well, what were you saying to the interracial people?
They were
But it,
sitting up front though.
well, okay, man. This would have been an adventure, but when she said you can go on and get off, I would have politely got off quickly because I don't know what her mental state is. I don't know after
Oh
her
yeah.
disclosure if
She's
she was
gonna take
going to
that
crash.
plane down.
Thank you, and you don't need to play with my life, okay? If you warn me,
So now
okay,
it got
I'm gonna
me
take it
thinking.
serious.
So now it got me thinking about, of all the planes that go missing or go down. It's like, was there? I'm just, I'm for real. Like, was there some
Mm,
mental health? I mean, sometimes, you know what I'm saying? I mean,
yeah.
just like that lady in California last year, she said she was a nurse too.
Mm-hmm.
She said she had a mental health episode, but she like was going 100
Oh,
miles an hour
yes, that.
on
Oh,
like
that
a
lady
on
was
a
a
main
jerk.
road,
Major, yes,
not on a
major.
freeway, talking about
No,
she had a mental health, but people were like, no, she was drunk and broke up with her
her
boyfriend.
boyfriend.
I
Yeah.
don't know. Either way, she just decided to just go for it.
And she killed people. That was
Nine people or
yes,
something. Yeah.
yes, and the car exploded near like a gas station. Like it was a mess.
Right. And
That
she
was
lived.
awful. Yeah, she lived, but everybody else, the
Right.
innocent people who were just traveling, were killed. You know? Oh yeah, no. But
I would
see,
have got off that plane and the president has signed into law some new regulations for these airlines where they gotta reimburse you. I've been like, y'all better have my money.
Quick, fast, and in a hurry. Yeah, no, I definitely agree. I'm not riding with the lady that's distraught because you said, wait, I don't know if you got to this point or if you just mentioned this when we had our sidebar on it. You said she was going through a divorce or something and she put that
Right.
out there.
Oh yeah, girl. I'm like, I understand that, but I've been through one, and 11 other people have been through a divorce, ma'am. You gonna have to get it together and get some support. Go to counseling. Go take several seats. I've had to go through several other things while going through the divorce. So
Mm,
don't, yeah, miss me with that.
mm. Girl, that's the part. That part. Like I said, when the pilot tells me all of that information, I'm gonna leave because I'm also gonna assume that she was drinking before she. and I
Of
and
course.
this isn't the Denzel Washington movie with Flight where he was drunk and landed the plane. I don't want to take no chances because you are not able to control your mental health. And I don't know what you've done to your body before you got on to handle this plane, but we're not playing games with planes. That's just
Right.
not
Like
yet.
people are
Yeah.
just supposed to like just kneel to her like she gone with the wind or something. Girl,
Okay, so I love it. So you said definitely not getting on the plane with a pilot that has let you know that she's having a mental health episode and she
nope.
should have called out on a mental health day. And we
Nope.
want to stress that. That's why we're reiterating it because it is Mental Health Awareness Month.
Exactly.
So, people don't know what you're going through. I remember being at work and people were afraid to, use mental health days or afraid to call out. And for a time, I was one of those. And then for a time, I was not because I realized they don't give it. They don't know what the heck you're going through. I said,
You know who I learned mental health day from?
our homegirl,
No, my
your
mother.
mom. Okay. Oh, well, that's quite timely because it is Mother's Day. So that's another good tip. Your mama. Okay, wait, not just to put you on the spot because I know we're going to talk about our moms in a minute, but was that kind of one of the many good lessons that you learned from your mom, or what other lesson stands out to you as a good standout lesson from your mom? Because mental health and self-care, is how you live your life, and it's nice to hear that you got that good trait and good habit from your mom.
Right. There's another lesson in relationships. It can be romantic, platonic, or whatever. Whatever you start, make sure you can finish it. So if you don't want to finish it, don't start it.
Mm. Wow, them are words from Mama Monica. Okay, I like it. Get it together. Keep it tight. Keep it right. So okay. Okay. Well, I love that. Well, then moving right along, then, just because we are talking about outrageousness and mothers, this particular conversation came about because Black Twitter, the community at large. Honey, everybody was on Ebony K. Williams last week, or this week, I should say, in regards to a comment that she made about her dating preferences. And you and
Right.
I, we don't care about our dating preferences. I mean, I feel like, do you, boo? And I kind of feel like that's your stance. And I feel like she came hard on the situation and she tried to backtrack. And I don't
But
love
she
her.
she generalized it. She didn't make it
Yeah.
specific to her.
Right. And we're talking, she just made the comment that she wouldn't be interested in personally dating a bus driver. She would date a owner of the bus,
Right.
but she didn't want to mess with the bus driver. And then she tried to, like you say, make a lot of generalizations, stereotypes about Black men, Black workers,
Right.
the Black community in general. So, honey, the community ain't letting that stand. So they
Mm-mm.
definitely came for a sister's head. We're not talking about that. We're actually talking about another clip because when the community comes from you, they will find clips from 1902 on your. they
Girl.
they will go back to the archives. Okay, it could be the Emancipation Proclamation. They will be like, actually, we have a sketch drawing. We know you were here. I mean, the community,
You better have
Black
somebody on
Twitter.
staff and cybersecurity who can erase all your stuff.
Yeah, honey, Black Twitter don't play. So they had found a clip uh, from Ebony appearing on the Wendy Williams show, and she was speaking about having um,
Oh,
about
when
the
they used to have
pandemic.
the round table. Oh yeah.
Yeah, but no, but the clip that I was actually I saw and I was gonna bring the
Uh-huh.
question to us about was Wendy had asked Ebony about how she survived the pandemic, and she had mentioned that her fiance, because at one time I guess she was engaged, she must be single now, but at one time she was engaged. The man had children, and during the pandemic, he left her in New York to go to New Jersey to be with his children and assumably his children's mother or his ex-wife, or whoever, and he did not invite her, or she did not go along. And that is what I saw Black Twitter come for her. Like, oh my goodness, they were throwing out, I guess you thought the white man was going to love you and he didn't. Oh my girl, when Black Twitter go hard. Ooh, woo. Oh my goodness, girl, you know it's spicy and hot. Oh, the people, men, women, them, they, whatever the pronouns, they all came from the for Sister Ebony about that. But it made me think, would you be comfortable? Because this is kind of happening to Demi Moore. She's moving in with Bruce Willis, her ex-husband, and his new wife and their new kids.
Is she
Because,
moving into the guest house?
well, yeah, because I guess
Hmm.
he has some health challenges.
Right.
But would you be okay in a covenant relationship, as you like to say, Monica, with your husband or partner's ex or children's mother moving in with you guys? Would that be a good scenario for you? Is that something you're comfortable with?
Um, we have to sit down and talk. It's case by case basis because I definitely at first I'd probably be like no, but there's so many different circumstances that can be around that because it depends on like
Hmm.
what's the age, is there like some type of chronic illness, like what's really going on, you know what I'm saying? I'm not going to say yes
It's a
either.
hard no. Okay, so
Yeah,
you said it. You're going to take it case by case.
right.
Okay, and that, you know what, I like that. That is a
but
really grown
but
answer.
right, but in Ebony's situation, I'm like, was she living with her fiance at the time?
I guess they were cohabitating in New York together. Now
And
his kids are
yeah,
older, because she called. Now wait, this is how you can tell she don't have no kids and that her mind might not be right, because she was like, his semi-grown kids, or like, she kept implying that the kids were like grown, like they could be self-sufficient. But I'm like, I think they're only like 13 or 14 or 13 or 15. I was like, though,
right,
them kids,
teenagers.
yeah, those kids still need adult parent supervision. And if they're going to be out of school or going through the pandemic, I could see why the father would want to go, want to go be with his kids. What I thought was interesting is that they didn't invite you as the fiance. That is what I would have had a problem with. You know what? We have to live together. We only have an apartment, or whatever, in New York, so we're going to go, of course, to the suburbs in New Jersey. But I need to come with you. Like, what
They
is
could
the
have got a
sleeping
big enough house
arrangement?
because
Yeah,
Jada and Will did it with was it sure is his ex-wife?
Cherie, yeah, something like it. Yeah, yeah.
They
Oh,
eventually came around and they hang out, you know. They was taking
exactly.
trips together.
And see, and I like that vibe of good co-parenting and people
Right.
being okay. But I don't like that slippery slope into sister wifehood either. I would prefer. I think it's easier to co-parent when the other parent is happy,
Right.
because when they're not, then they're just over there plotting on your happiness. So
Exact.
I would personally prefer, like, I definitely believe in happy, healthy uh, co-parenting. And I've dated a man who did not. He always felt like a separation of church and state. He was like,
Mhm.
That's my child," and like that. Like, no, we don't need to commingle. And it always made me feel like, but I was around his child, so that wasn't it.
Right.
He just felt like, oh no, you don't need to meet my ex. And then I came to realize that sometimes you don't need to give people a reason to be upset or jealous. You just
Mhm.
keep certain things away from them to have a peaceful situation. But once she was happy, then he was able to move a little bit freer with our situation
But
around
if
her.
you're if you are engaged and you are about to merge your life with another person's life and you got kids, y'all need to get to know each other. Now, I'm not saying that Ebony should have went up there, but that just there's too many like he just left her.
Oh yeah, no, yep, that's what she said on the Wendy Williams show. But no,
Nope.
as for me and my house, we would have been packing up our bags together, and we would be going on a road trip to New Jersey, and we would have been living with your ex and hopefully her new man and your kids.
I'm pretty
We
sure
would
they
have
had
made.
a big enough house or they had a guest house on the property, you know what I'm
It
saying?
doesn't even have to be big enough. Where is he gonna
Right.
sleep? I'll be right on top of him. I'll be there. Was he gonna be in the broom
Girl,
closet? I'll be in the broom closet with him. Don't worry about it.
because once he made that choice and left, I would have been like, I'm going to the islands.
What did Mary J. Blige say? It's a wrap.
It's a wrap.
Why you gonna do me like that? Nope. Yep. We don't. We're not having conversations on that. It's just done. But I
So
do
like it don't
understand.
matter if they white collar, blue collar. It's like where's the character at in that? And then on top of that, obviously they wasn't having discussions about that situation.
Yeah.
Not deep enough discussions.
See, and we we talked about them first date conversations. I don't know if that's a first date conversation, but it is definitely a
No, but
conversation you need
it,
to have.
maybe the third month, third 3 to 6 months.
I mean, maybe before you put that ring on my finger, or just when you're on
Right?
your knees, when you pop up, maybe we can start discussing what our life is going to look like. You know.
Exactly.
Hmm. But okay, so on that note, that was just one of the things that I was like, oh wow, just craziness going around, and there's nothing like watching Black Twitter get on a topic and just seeing how the community responds. So with that in mind, though, I do want to just naturally move along to the fact that Nurses Week and Teachers Week share the same week. And I just want to know, is it appropriate to give teachers gifts still in this modern climate? Do you still give teachers gifts for Teachers Appreciation Day or for Teachers Week?
I don't know. I believe my sister, I don't know if she gives gifts, but she is big on writing thank you letters and writing,
Okay.
but not her, having my nephew
Okay.
write the thank you letters and letters. I don't know if they particularly give gifts now because I know, sometimes there's an issue about the monetary amount and all that.
But I feel like teachers, a little thank you note, maybe a little $5 or $10 Starbucks gift card to
Right.
your favorite ones, and keep it pushing. Like I know during the holidays, sometimes I would see people come in and want to buy extravagant gifts for their teachers. They would usually have like a $50 or less budget, or $25 or less
Mm-hmm.
budget, depending on, like you said, the age of the child, how many teachers they had, and different things like that.
Right.
I think, you know what, for a good teacher, a gift card from like a coffee shop, whether it's your favorite local one or a big known company like the one I just mentioned, that's an appropriate, like you said, with a little handwritten thank you. That's
Mm-hmm.
cute. I mean, because you know what? The pandemic should have showed some people something. I mean, some people, of course, now think that they want to homeschool their kids, and that's great. But others realize they don't want that energy. They're very grateful for these teachers.
Yeah,
So
that's
you
not their ministry.
no, so remember what your testimony is, and you go ahead and get that teacher her stuff, or his stuff, or their stuff, and tell
Mm-hmm.
them thank you. They're doing the work that you don't want to do, and sometimes you have to be grateful that someone is willing to do the work that doesn't appeal to your spirit. It's not, like you said, not your ministry.
Because they're just not teaching the kids. They are babysitters. They are therapists. They are.
Mm-hmm.
It's so I applaud. That was not my calling.
Mm-mm.
I have relatives who used to retired teachers, currently
Mm-hmm.
teaching, used to be teachers. Me, no.
I think I would have loved to be a teacher,
You still can.
but let me kind of put this but in there. But the more grown auntie gets, okay, the less I want to play in, not the kid's face. It would be the parents, because when the child acts a certain way, that's a issue that I think the parents and the teachers have to work out. And after
Right.
seeing that clip a couple of weeks ago of that substitute teacher, the inappropriate outfit, falling out with the kids, like no, I don't, I don't need the stress in my life. I was like, no,
Because
the
it starts at home. Because
yeah,
the stories I used to hear from
from
parent
family,
teacher
right?
conferences and
Yes.
from family about no,
No,
can't.
you can't do that. No, not for us. That's not where we're. That's not what we've been led. And then also, like with that, it's also Nurses Appreciation Week. So teachers is, I guess, the 8th through the 12th, and nurses is the 6th through the 12th.
Mm-hmm.
So now you also have a lot of nurses in your family, and so
Yes.
we shout out to all of the good nurses.
Mm-hmm. Retired nurses, currently nursing, used to be a nurse. Yes.
I
Um,
said to the good nurses.
to
So
the
in
good
your heart,
nurses.
if
No.
so, in your heart, dog, this is my rant. In your heart, okay, in your heart, if you know you're just there for that paycheck and you don't really give a damn about the patients, and you're tired of the hospital bureaucracy, and you are just living for your days off, uh, do you really think you're a good nurse?
No,
Or are
they
you
can
just a
go. They
person with a job? You're a person with a
right.
job.
They
So
can go
this is
into
for good
IT tech.
nurses. Go into building or something, coding, do something else. If you have a nursing degree and you're not happy with actually having to deal with people and be a nurse, and you realize that you're no Florence Nightingale, okay, get the hell out that hospital or that clinic and don't do harm. You think your body is that necessary. It is not, because your bad nursing habits and
Energy.
tendencies, for real, you could take someone's life. You could, disrupt their family. You could cause more harm than good. And I know you want your paycheck. So realize that you also are getting a fat paycheck. Okay. So let's not play with each other out there, because I know these nurses are saying they're exhausted. And for the good ones, I imagine they are, because day in and day out, you're bringing your good energy into a place, trying
A
to make
round
it
of
better.
applause for them.
Yes, you are helping people on their worst day. You're helping the people when they're in need. And people don't often like to be in need, especially not medical need, health need, things that are life or death, right? So if you don't even have that kind of perspective on what you're doing, and you're a nurse and you've been thinking about doing something different, listen to your spirit and do something different.
Yeah, girl. That's why I never followed in those footsteps into the medical field per se like that, because I'm like, you can, like you said, you can end up taking somebody's life. If I'm dealing with numbers, I can always correct that.
Mm-hmm. Ooh, girl. So yes. So on that one, I'm like, on that note, yes, the numbers, the energy, the mistakes, the attitudes. Because sometimes nurses will get mad at the family, and then you be mad at the family and be neglecting the patient. No. So like I said, if you are feeling that you've lost your calling, or you never had a calling, you just want a good paycheck, then maybe you should do something else with your nursing degree than actually try to help people. Really, you should realize that that is why we have Nurses Appreciation Week, because
Hmm.
it is an admirable profession. It's something that people go, wow, you're a nurse. You give of
Right.
yourself. When I hear the word nurses or teachers, I think, wow, those are real heroes. You know,
Because it couldn't
uh,
have been me.
but now that I've seen some nurses, I said, DM me. I'll tell you really how I feel. No, no, I'm like, some of them, no. Mm-mm,
But we want to
mm-mm.
acknowledge
The good ones,
the excellent
excellent
nurses out
ones,
there.
yes,
Yeah.
because there are some, and like I said, I've had some good ones. I've had some good ones that I'm like, I know it's a calling. That's how you can see the bad ones. When you have one of the great nurses, you're like, wait, you are fantastic. Like, where did you come from? And they're like, oh no, I just love doing it. Or I love when they say, I had an experience
Right.
with my own health or with my own family that led me into nursing, and now I care, or now I make sure, or I never treat anyone like this, or I always remember what it was like. I'm like, oh yeah, they're amazing. That's a calling. It's the same way a minister will say they felt, called, like they felt like it was what they were supposed to do in their life, that was their meaning for life, and their purpose was to be a minister. That's how I feel about nursing and teaching. I don't take those professions light, because there's a lot of admiration and respect. And so, anyway, shout out to the good nurses and teachers. We hope you guys have had a great week. And it's not too late. You can still slide in on Monday and give your and give your favorite teacher a little gift card with a little thank you note. They'll still like it. Coffee is good all the time, or tea, or whatever. Okay. So then, Monica, because we are wrapping up this wonderful, joyous hour, I do want to shout out the most important women in our lives. I've had the privilege of knowing your mother, and I know you know my mother as well. And so, just let's just have a moment of reflection on the ladies that have poured their love and their spirit into us and helped create such phenomenal women, if I say so myself.
Yes. My mother. A supportive encourager. Uh, I don't even want to get too emotional, but
Mm.
yeah, you know what I'm saying? She's my ride or die.
Yeah, I was like, get emotional, girl. Look at me. I'm be like they do at church. Let them use you. Let them use you, girl.
Yeah. So no, she's living her best life now, and I even, I still working towards enhancing, her living her best life. So yeah,
Mm.
she's like you said, living her best life. That's what
Mm.
she doing, girl.
Ain't
And
going back and forth.
she
Mhm.
deserves it.
She does, I will say. Okay, so I'm not going to get emotional either, but I will say that Mama Monica is the truth, and she is not a fable. So she is really, she walks it the way she talks it, and she is on another level. I've heard Oprah once speak on Gail being kind, and Oprah
Mhm.
realizing that she's not kind. She's like, no, I'm nice, I'm personable. She said, but Gail, there's this thing in Gail that's actually
Right.
kind. And that is the thing about Mama Monica. Because what I will say is that she's kind, she's fair and balanced and full of love. I remember there was a time when Monica and I, we were not seeing things the way that friends see things the way they should. And that's why we're sisters. I mean, because, you know, it's love and it's years.
Right.
And but Mama but Mama Monica was so sweet and so kind. And she just said, I'm just praying for you guys because I don't think this should be the thing that comes between your friendship. And you know what? And that was that's 15, 20 years ago now that Mama Monica said that kind and spoke that life into our friendship and to our sisterhood. And I said, you know what? It takes a lot for someone's mom because she didn't take any sides. That's not what she was doing.
No.
Because Monica's her baby. So boom, boom. But and she was getting to know me, and she obviously knew. Okay, well, she's not like everybody else. She come from her own interesting stock. So she
Right.
just said, "I'm gonna pray on it because this shouldn't be the thing." Like I almost like a good prophecy. I see a future for you guys with your friendship. Your sisterhood is gonna travel. And, it's gonna be something great. So I'm gonna pray on it, and then you guys will get it together. And we sure enough did. I mean, we sure enough did. So that's why I said
Right.
I just had to give Mama Monica a shout out, and always so much love. I said if she knows something's going on, honey, she will send you a text. She will call, and I just appreciate her. And I'm very grateful. Also, I want to shout out my other girlfriends' mothers. I will say this: I am blessed to have unique girlfriends and also girlfriends who have close relationships with their mothers. So they understand, how I feel about my own mom because they love their moms dearly as well. And it is just a blessing. So shout out because my girlfriend that lives in Chicago, her mom is a Virgo like me. And
Oh, y'all two
phenomenal lady
peas in the
too.
pod.
Yeah, her mom was a phenomenal lady. So I love it, and like I said, I'm very very grateful for my girlfriends and their amazing moms. So that's the Mother's Day shout out, and for me, the shout out for my mom. I am so grateful, and during the season with my mom and kind of dealing with the things that we've been going through, I have come to appreciate my mom's character.
Mhm.
Like it's your mom, so it's like, okay, yeah, it's my mom. I know she's wonderful. Like people laugh because I tell the story, like my mom. I couldn't let guys I date meet my mom at some point because when it was time for them to leave, they still want to like have a relationship with my mom, and I'm like, kick rocks. Like my mom and me are a package deal. Like you ain't with me, you don't get to be with her. But no, but and one of my exes even named their child after my mom. After my mom had given him a Bible and inscribed and said some kind words, spoke some life into him, and he sure did turn around, and he was very proud. He was like, "And I gave my daughter your mom's name." I was like, "Okay, okay, okay." I was like, "Oh, okay, sir. Well, I'm very happy. How's your mom?" When I run into exes, the first thing they ask me is, "How's your mama doing?" And kind of during this
Mhm.
season, I've watched all of her nieces and nephews come back to me with a story about my mom, whether it's her putting their art up, whether it was her advocating for them, whether it was her praying for them, whether it was for her keeping it real with them, whether it was for her, just doing something that I go, wow, I go, man, she created such a high bar. I'm grateful that she's never said that I have to come to the level that she's at. I mean,
Right.
she walks her own path. I mean, like I said, everyone is into kind of natural path things now. My mom been on that. It's so wild
Oh
because every
yeah, yes, Mama Mila will send over some herbs, and you're like, where did this come from? Introduce you to some stuff you don't know about.
yeah, that's why I said.
Get you. She will get you right.
Yes, yes. And that's why I said she kind of just flowing with love. I mean, for her core is always, of course, Christ. But man, she's so open and so beautiful with her spirit and the way she engages and lives life and the way she looks out for women and children. I mean, like she always will tell women, get your get out of hell account. We've
Right.
discussed that several times on the podcast. Have a plan B, a plan A and a plan B. She's also a big advocate of your children being safe even when you're not with them. I was letting some of the, I was talking with some of the nurses, and I'm just kind of letting them know why I will always champion my mother, why I will always ride for her, because there's no one who's going to ride harder for
For
me.
me, yeah.
No, and that's check me too. See, that's the thing. Sometimes people think, "Oh, I'm a good parent because I just play with my kids, and my kids never get disciplined, or they we no." My mom could tell me right or wrong. I mean, she actually was pouring into me not only confident words of life, but also treat other people right. You're a citizen of the world. You can't do this, I mean, the
Right.
balance. But one of the things she mentioned, because she could see how abuse and bullying and all these other social factors that affect girls are important. She encouraged me, and I told one of my girlfriends the story, and she also, and the nurses and everyone, another one of the mama mama Mila isms. She always said, have a code with your kids, because sometimes they're in dubious situations, and it might be of their making, it might be of not. And so when I would go and spend the night at girlfriends' houses, and this might be a surprise to some of them if they're listening as well, my mama always had a code word with me. We had a code, and usually it could have been anything. It could have been a dinner code. It could be, what when you get
Oh
back.
yeah, you mentioned this before on the.
Yeah, yeah. Like, what do you want? What do you want for dinner? If I said chicken, she know come and get me because I don't like chicken. If I say pizza, it means I'm having a good time. And I wouldn't have to say anything else. I wouldn't have to go into a bunch of descriptions on why or what was happening. Were the girls making me feel uncomfortable? Were they picking on me? Was I just homesick? I didn't have to say anything except I want chicken when I get home. Okay, girl. Well, you know what? You go back and you enjoy your friends, and I'll talk to you later. Man, maybe a minute later, 2 minutes later, she'd call the parents. She'd take the heat for me. It's not for me to have to deal with stress if I'm a child. It's for her to be a protector of me. If she sends me out, she's going to make sure that I have a way to always come back in safe. Whether it's praying for me when I leave the house, or making sure I have a quarter back in the day so that I could put it. Well, then she started doing the little phone cards, because she said, "You don't use up your money when you're out, but if it's an emergency, you need to call home.
Right.
Here's a little phone card so you can
Always have
call
a
home."
AAA card.
Yes,
When you get
something.
older, you might have a credit card.
Yeah, just something so that you're safe. And I said, and that's the kind of writer I had. And so she would call and she would be like, "Oh, you know what? Family emergency. You don't have to wake up your whole house. I'm gonna come out and get, I'm sorry. I'm gonna come out and get Mila. Don't you worry about it. Don't you worry about it. Don't wake up your house. I'm just gonna grab her. And you know what? She'd come pick me up. I wouldn't have to worry about it. It is what it is. She wouldn't question me, and if she did, it depended on how my spirit was, how my energy was, and I never really had to use it, but it was just that it was there, so that if I did, I could. You know, when I got away and got to go with my girlfriends and we were having sleepovers, I wasn't thinking about that. But still, she wanted me to make sure I felt safe. She said, "Did their dad make you feel what was going on? If there's anything that makes you feel like you are not celebrated, girl, get your behind home." So we
Right.
can
Well,
we
as a parent and then as a mother, those are things that they, take into account that you shouldn't have to worry about that as a child. So,
No, yep, thank you. And people are worried about their children having uh too much freedoms, but then they're not protecting them from the basic stuff. So my mom was old school that way. So, that's my shout out to my mom. Thank you for all of the million mommy isms you've given me. I know half the time you think I wasn't paying attention, and people think that I'm the talker, and they don't know that really it is you who are the talker. So I was listening. People don't even understand. I get quiet around my mom because she got so much to say, honey. I be worn out. So I love it. I love it. I ain't tired yet, though. I'm not tired yet. I'll take another 30, 40, 50 years with the lady. So anyway, that was my Mother's Day shout out. Now, Monica, you girl, you always the last couple all of May and late April, you've had fire businesses. I mean, not that we haven't always had good businesses from the community, but I mean, these businesses have been interesting. Girl, what do you have this week for the people?
well, I have a few mentions, especially
Okay.
for it being Mother's Day weekend, but the business actually, I got this. My sister had got me a gift for something I completed like a couple months ago,
Mhm.
and the business is called Infinitely Well. www.liveinfinitely.well.com. Change your mood with mood food. So they're
Mm.
therapeutic blends of pure essential oils. They have different ones. They have woke, helps with fatigue. B helps uplift low moods. Rest helps with sleep issues. Grace helps
Mm.
with compassion. Calm
Hmm.
helps with stress. Focus helps with attention issues. Chill helps with anxiety. Uh, Infinity helps with love, self love.
Mm.
They are online. They are on Instagram, and my sister got me the Grace one. What is
Oh.
Grace? Grace helps with compassion. Oh, she got jokes.
Ah,
Um,
but no, I was like, I need a blend of all of those. You were naming them all
right.
off. I was like, I need this, that, this. Do they have a combo? Because I need a few of those.
I'm pretty sure she would take custom orders.
Okay.
But yeah, and then she is apologize. I did not get her name, but I'm looking at a card that came with the gift that I had received a while
Okay.
ago.
Okay.
So now for this weekend, it's going down.
In every town. Okay. In
Yep,
every town.
from
Mm.
Tacoma to Seattle. So
Hmm.
for Mother's Day weekend, there is on Saturday there is a BIPOC market from 11 a.m. to 3 p.m. in Tacoma, Washington at Annie Wright School,
Mm.
and that is on Saturday. And then there's also a Mother's Day brunch, Mother's Day brunch on May 14th from 10 a.m. to 1 p.m. And this is at Lizzie Lou's 2. And it's a cafe in the Harley Davidson shop off of Pacific Highway in Tacoma, Washington.
And wait, I do want to just interject one thing, Monica.
Uh huh.
Because when you say Harley Davidson shop, people might be like, oh, okay, I don't know about that for my mom. Go ahead and Google Lizzie Lou Twos, y'all. LIZZYLOUTOO. Because, honey, the shop, it is not like any, it is not like, where you take your car in to get serviced and there's a little waiting area with a cup of coffee and maybe a popcorn machine or something and a chair. Oh, no, 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 no. Harley David, what's going on here? This is a real little restaurant scene, and it's cute. It's cute, cute. Okay,
Right,
now
because
continue.
when you got I had one of my girlfriends from Seattle tell me about it. I didn't know, and you got people in Seattle telling you about it. Yeah, they got another thing. It's called Bubbles and Beats or Beats and Bubbles brunch or something like
Hmm.
that. And then also on Sunday, Wonder of Women International, Veronica Very uh,
Yay, Veronica.
is having a Mother's Day good morning circle at 3 p.m. in Seattle.
Okay.
And you can get tickets from her website for that. And that's for all women, had mothers, lost mother, had children, lost children. Um, just, it's something to it's supporting, especially because I have a few friends and their mothers have passed. And so this day
Mm.
can, the
Be
day and
hard.
weekend, it could be hard,
Yeah.
so that is going on. And then to end the night on Sunday, there is a Mother's Day skate party. It's open to
Mm.
everyone, but it's an adult skate party. Okay,
Oh, roll bounce.
leave the kids at
Roll
home. Get
bounce.
a
Okay.
babysitter. Get your husband, baby, daddy, partner, spouse to watch the kids, and go skating with your girlfriends. It's
Hmm.
at Patterson West. They call it El Centro. I believe that's in Federal Way. It's from 7:30 p.m. to 10 p.m.
Oh, good old Pat West. All right. Ah,
Mm-hmm.
that okay. So this is a turned up weekend, and it's perfect because I hope the weather is great wherever you find yourself in the world. I know that this weekend in the Pacific Northwest,
It's
we
gonna be hot,
hot. Monique already
girl.
mentioned it. It's gonna be a good
Gonna be
one to be
hot,
out there.
girl.
I mean, and if nothing else, maybe throw up dust off the grill. Make sure it works. Maybe put on something for mama on the grill and celebrate that way. Whatever you can do, just remember what your mom, the mother figure, whoever has been special and had that role in your life, shout them out. Why not? You don't want to miss an opportunity to tell someone you love them
Nope.
because life is valuable that way.
Right. And our days are short, so
Whew, girl, I mean, who knows with technology and science? That's a whole nother conversation. But
Right.
okay, now Monica, anything else that I'm forgetting to tell the people?
No, be kind.
All right, and have a great weekend.
Peace.
Monica, where can they find us again?
They can find us on Anchor, Spotify, and now iTunes.
Mm.
And please like, share, subscribe, and leave us a comment. You can shoot us an email or a voice message if you'd like.
Mm-hmm.
And with all that, love and gratitude.
Remember to call your aunties or your girlfriends and say hi. Bye.